Hey boys, welcome back. Okay, in this video I want to give more details regarding the G23 build. So I think it will be good to do this video. So I appreciate my subscribers in the comment. They are really happy about this G23, and thank you very much again for subscribing, guys. I appreciate it so much. Thank you, and thank you for your feedback and for your comments. Okay, this one, like I said, this is the first block I use. This is an F23A1. Like I said in my first video, you can use from F23A through A7, so it doesn't matter. So the block is all the same. Okay, here we have this is an H22 cylinder head, and this is an F23 cylinder head. So this is the original head from the F23. So the reason I'm here, because I want to see you guys, I want to show you which all oil passage you had to plug to use the H22 head. Okay, the first I told, like we talked before, so we go like we talked before, these are the pistons of K20A2 type S. You can use as well type R, it's a little bit more high compression. So this one is the stock piston. So the reason you can use the stock piston when you put the H22 head is because the compression ratio will be very low. So this car have if you do this build as a NA, this car will be no torque, no nothing, so it will be very low power engine. But if you boost, you will be okay, because you have to. But the problem is you can use this normal piston, you have to use a forged piston. So if you try to boost, or if you boost, you have to have a low boost, very low boost, if you want to use this one. So the reason for the G23 we go with this piston is to raise the compression ratio. The compression ratio go around 11.5, depend which piston you use, depend how thick is the head gasket. Okay, so like we see here, this is the stock piston from the block. It's 86 millimeter. So, and what you have to do, you have to use the connecting rod from the F23. So just to swap the piston. And like I said before, when you install the K20 piston, like you have to put the relief valve. You see this in this house, to understand which is the source of the intake, because the intake is always big, because like you can see here, the intake valve are always bigger. So are always big intake. Okay, so bigger relief go on the intake. Okay, so the piston had to go this one at the front of the engine, or when you open, the front of close to the radiator. Okay, so the piston had to be in this position like now, or you can see here in mean intake, when the piston go like this. But in the G23 you have to put the IN on this side. So you have to install the piston like this, 360, like we talked before, because the center of the piston, it's not in the center, but it's a little bit on the left side. So to give it the perfect rotation for the rotation, so you have to turn 180 degrees the piston to give it the same rotation of the F23, like original. Okay, so say that block F23, connector rod F23. So just here to use K20 A2 or type R, whatever, to raise the compression. Okay, this is K20, because the piston you have to stay 20, because K20 is 86 mil, so the piston with the hole are the same. Okay, another thing what I suggest, I was talking regarding the when you do a G23, in my opinion, if you don't want the piston to make this kind of noise, like metal to metal, especially when the engine is cold, like a tin 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 when the engine is cold, I will show you that after in my G23, the noise maker, especially when the engine is, because you have a piston slap, so the piston, you have a little bit to play inside the cylinder and make like this kind of noise. Of course, when the engine is hot, everything expands and will be quiet. So if you don't want to do that, I would suggest you again, if I rebuilt again in a G23, because this one, if you see the cylinder, you have a 1 mm. You can go, so this is 86, so instead of buy 86 mm piston, buy 86 50, so 86.5 centimeter, and send it to the machine shop and rebore, because it would be perfect in tolerance. Because I'm telling you, this block before was, when I built this block, this was on my Prelude, so this block was no knocking in the morning, nothing. So I did the F23A5 I have now. I have a less kilometer than this block, better block, and then with the K20 piston, starting when in the morning, starting knocking. So my suggestion, 86.5. Even the cylinder look okay. You say, oh, I have no score, no nothing. Just I buy 86.5, rebore, and you call the day. You have no issues. You can use the stock F23 connected rod. If you want to upgrade, like I did in my block, better. But it's not a must. But you can go too much crazy on RPM. So you can go 75, 78, I think you're good. Anyways, but this engine, mostly is a torque engine. It's not for, you can have horsepower, yes, but most of the time, because it's like a restroker of the H22, I would suggest don't go too nuts. Okay, regarding the block, this is everything. Put the rest, this I put myself the guard, but you don't need to put the guard. No, this is just because I had and I put just a little bit more reinforced, but you don't need, absolutely not. Okay, let's talk now of the cylinder heads. So cylinder heads, you see cylinder heads, we have, we're talking about to plug the oil passage. So if you can see on the F23, so F23 has less oil passage then, so of course it's a little bit different. So here's the same, here the same. So the oil passage, what you have to plug are two, are here from the timing belt side, are 1 and 2. So timing belt side, plug this or plug this. These two yet to be plugged, because what happens when you install the H22 head here will be empty. So you have if you don't plug in, you have after oil leak, because this is the return, only because the block is built like this. Okay, so the F23 have less oil return passage. Okay, so timing belt side from here, actually from here, so we'll leak oil from here, from the front of the engine. Timing belt side, plug 1 and 2. This one is exhaust side, and this one is intake. You can see from the valve, smaller valve exhaust, bigger valve intake. So this you have to plug at this. This is the only thing you have to do on the H22 head. That's it. And then if you want, you can upgrade the spring, you can upgrade the valves, or whatever you can do. This is an extra, but you don't need if you want to do a budget build. What do we have next? So this is the F23 head. So it's with H22 is very good head, because the engine breathes better. So say that, and now we pass on the engine mount, engine bracket. Guys, before we move on the engine bracket, I want to give you another tip how to remove the balance shaft. So the balance shaft, you see this will be removed, and what you have to do, you have to close that oil passage. So you have to buy the kit from KS or some another company they sell. So that is a plug, so you have to thread in. So this is the center cap, the number 3. So if you start from the this is the tummy belt, this is number 1, number 2, and number 3. So you see the big hole, make a thread and plug this one. So this one is because the whole passages, because this whole passage go to lubricate all the counterbalance shaft. Okay, so this rethread by the kit to give everything the kit, this screw, and as well I will show you on the main cap cradle. So guys, this one the cradle go on the main caps, so the main caps go on top. So what you can see here in the kit come these plugs. So these are the direction where to put the plugs. So you have to put the plugs here on the number 3, one plug here, then one plug here in the center, can go here. So one plug go here. Let's start again. One plug go here. Okay, one plug go on the center, one plug go here, and that's it. So you plug this one because this one are the oil go in, the cradle fill it up with oil. So at this one are the oil passage go back to the in the block for the balance shaft. So plug all this one if you don't want to balance the shaft. Okay, you have to plug this as well. This is the cradle. That's it. The rest you plug the block and you finish. You eliminate the balance shaft. But remember to balance the crankshaft. So when you build an engine, balance the crankshaft. This is it's a must. So in the other episode, we're talking as well as water pump. So this is F23 water pump. So from the Accord block, F23, okay? So what you have to do, you have to use a puller to pull this gear off and install from the water pump, and remove as well the same thing, remove from H22 and install here. Just press in, make sure when you press this touch with the wood here on the center, and you can press in the gear. If you need help how to press, so you have to have a puller to pull this out, and to press you can use a vise if you want, with a vise, but to make sure don't kill the impeller. So put some good support here on the center, on the middle on the center, and you can with the wood everything you can step by step put together. Oh, now next thing, it's talking about the engine bracket. Engine bracket, okay, this one it's H22 and this one is F23. Okay, so now I will explain you why I use the CB7, the reason I use the CB7. So you can use H22 but you have to modify. Okay, let's start with F23, meaning the original of the block. So these are the holes where this goes. So with F23 put like this, so the 3 holes match perfect. Okay, or now I'll show you with H22. It's an H22. So H22, this match. One sec, I'll show you better. I'm gonna grab it. I don't know why, but it's a little bit heavier. Okay, H22. Okay, H22. Okay, this hole here, you have nowhere you can install. You have to install just this, and if you want to use this 3 here, you see it is not perfect in the center, the hole. I try to put as better I can. I try to, you know what I do? I try to get the bolt, and I will explain you better. Okay, so I put the bolt in one. So we have this side, this bolt, we have nowhere to install. This one, you see this one? If even you want to put the bolt, You can put the bolt, you may not. So the best way to do here is put the bolt here, okay, on the center. Look what we have here. So to make a fit the bolt here, you have to shave here, or you have to cut this one and welding with the position where it can fit, like where it can match. If you use the H22 bracket, if you don't want this headache, just order the CB7, find the CB7 engine bracket, and you don't need to deal with this stuff. Or what you have to do, you have to use only remove this one, because this one you can remove from here, and use just these 2 bolts. But I don't recommend, because already this is missing, and you remove as well this one, so you have all these 2 bolts, and the engine can, I think with the vibration or movement or whatever, you can break the bolt. So that's why I would suggest you to order CB7. You see here, you put this bolt. Actually, let me see if I can find another bolt, and I'll put the bolt here and here, and I'll show you better. Okay, now we have the bolt here. This was what I'm talking about. Or you modify this one, or you modify here. So let's try to put this one here and see if it works. I mean, it doesn't work, of course. It does well change the angle of the, if you put like this, but you can put maybe. See, it's hard to put, the bolt is hard to put because it's not 100%. No, the bolt doesn't go in. So you have to modify. This a go. So you have to do these 2, and this one you have to modify. So you have to shave here, cut, and you have to welding something a little bit here, and try to make work. So this is the issue if you use H22 on F23 block bracket. Or just what I'm saying, guys, do what I did in my G23, just order the bracket from CB7, and will be the same like this, exactly the same. The H22 2EG will work. Or if you have the Accord, you can use the Accord engine mount, that's it. So if you do G23 for an Accord, just this is not your issues. This is just the people like me, we have Civics. You have this issue, like you have to use the CB7. Okay, let's go forward. Okay, this one you have to replace with H22. This is an H22 and this is F23. So the reason you have to replace is because H22 gear, the timing belt is different from the teeth, from the F23. Now I show you why. Okay, this is F23, right, from the block. So this is the timing belt of F23. So timing belt F23, gear F23. So if you see here, the timing belt go in like a butter. Okay, you see? No problem. So now let's try the F23 belt on H22. You will see why we had to use, we had to change the cog or whatever, the gear. Look at this. You see that doesn't want to match. See that the gear doesn't want to match. If even I want to make a match, I force to make a match, that doesn't match. See what happened? So the timing belt is different. So because we use the cylinder head, camshaft from H22, you have to use as well this. And of course, like we talked before, for the engine, for the water pump. See, F23, and the belt is perfect, boom. So H22 gear, H22 timing belt. From the F23, of course, you have to use the timing belt tensioner. And now I will show you now. So you have to use the timing belt tensioner from F23 from here, because this one you can adjust, okay? And of course you have to use after, because if you remove the balance shaft, you have to put a spacer, or you break you need to put the center part of the balance shaft bearing tensioner, or submitting the same spacer, because what happened after the belt will be like this. You have all this room, so you have to put a spacer here, and then the nut to make sure you tighten the tensioner. Okay, this is one, and I think we are at the end of this beautiful explanation. The F23 doesn't have any oil cooler. If you want, you have to remove this one, try and screw this one, and pass the H22. And like I told before, so the pipe, the connected rod pipe, so this F23 until here, so then you leave like roughly an inch, and then you cut, and then you put the hose with the clamps, and then you put the thermostat, the part from the H22. Let me see if I have a pipe here, show you. So this is an H22 connected rod pipe. Okay, let's assume, so okay, from here, from there to here, you have to be, until the bracket, you have to be F23 from the block. So and then you cut around here, put the hose clamp, and then you have to cut this piece around here, because you need this piece. Actually, you don't need, because already F23 has one piece to go on a heater core. So you can cut around here, you cut around here, and you take off this piece, because this piece go on the hose, and this piece will go on the thermostat. Because remember, you have a H22 thermostat. This one is bigger than F23. You see, F23 have a small hole. So you have to cut H22, you have to make from F23 and H22, you have to make one pipe. Then I think it's everything explained from to build an G23 flywheel. You can use H22 flywheel, H22 transmission. If we use we can use a cord, H22, whatever you want for the gun transmission. But of course, use the Prelude. You have a little bit better gear ratio if you have. And again, this you don't need. It's a must. If you want this, you need. If you want to go turbo, just give a little bit of reinforce, but you don't need. And I guess that's it. That's all for today, guys, for regarding G23. And I really appreciate and for your subscribers and your interest on my channel. And if you have any comment or anything you need that can help, I will be more help to do it. Okay, guys, please like, subscribe, and I will see you for the next episode. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye bye now.